Hey, it's Rose. Welcome back to my sewing cave. How's everyone doing? I'm doing great. After last week's video with the cottagecore and gunny sacks pattern collection, I am so excited to sew my next gunny sacks inspired project. And I thought with the holidays coming up that I could start a little mini challenge with everyone in the community using hashtag gunny sacks holidays. So this is where someone can sew a gunny sacks inspired dress or just wear a gunny sacks dress for the holidays, take a picture, post it on Instagram, and so we can all see how we are embracing beautiful gunny sacks dresses for the holiday season. I do want to mention another sewing challenge right now. Hashtag the Little Red Dress Project 2021. I participated in last year's project and I thought recreating this dress would be a perfect opportunity to enter the challenge myself. The Little Red Dress Project is spearheaded by Renata of the Twilight Stitcher. She's been running it for the last 5 or 6 years, and this year she has a co-host, Kira of the Island Socialist. Both these ladies hosted it last year. They did a fantastic job, and I actually had a dress I submitted to that project as well. I love the community. I love all the videos that folks do on this in their own interpretation of making a red dress for themselves or someone else. I'm obsessed with one dress in particular right now. It is a beautiful 1960s black label gunny sacks red dress with a toile fabric, a beautiful pastoral scene. The current owner of the dress, Sin by Handmade on Instagram, she's actually selling her version of this dress right now. And she has posted some beautiful pictures, close ups of all of the fantastic details that you know I geek out over. And she said that I could share those pictures with you as an inspiration for my holiday dress this year. And it's got all of these great details. It's got ruffles, it's got lace, it's got long sleeves with the poof, it's got a beautiful neckline. And I thought that my inspiration could inspire you as well and show you how I would create a pattern to mirror this dress using sewist.com, along with all of the fabrics, trims that I would need to create this dress.
This is sewist.com. It's one of my favorite resources online for creating patterns for when there's a design you love, but you can't find a pattern out there, vintage or new, that'll work for you or in your size. So first step is dresses. I select semi-fitted because vintage patterns tend to have a little bit more ease than a fitted pattern. Full length. The black label dress has set-in sleeves, so I will select regular armholes. Tons of beautiful neckline options. You can see here they do have a Queen Anne. It just doesn't come up on the neck as much, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Out of all of these, the one that I thought kind of aligns closer to that black label is this rounded V-neck. There's no collar, just facings. There's no front closure. And it's hard to see, but there is a waist inset on that dress. So I'm going to select this high waist inset. And you can see lots of different skirt options. I'm going to select this two-tiered skirt. Now that bottom tier is a little bit longer than the design I'm trying to recreate, but I can make that adjustment maybe based on one of my cottagecore patterns that has a similar skirt to the one I'm trying to recreate. The dress has princess seams that go all the way up to the shoulder. There are bottom darts to the back of the dress, so I'll select that. And there's a facing, so I'm going to select this option so I don't have to work around any darts. But for me, dresses tend to fit me better when I have the shoulder darts. But in this case, I'll select just back waist dart. And there are those fabulous sleeves. Tons of sleeve options. So right now I'm looking for the one that I think will work best for that dress. Now that looks very promising. So that sleeve might be a little bit short, but I'll be able to tweak the pattern once I have it. There we go. So after it's done loading, there's the dress. I think that's a pretty good pattern for it. I will have to do some tweaking, but it's a better start than trying to draft it myself because I still don't have a good block. I don't have to grade from any vintage patterns. And I can go in and actually select my custom measurements, and I will add seam allowances. So let's just add my measurements. So my legs are a little bit long. I'm 5'9", but I always say that I am 5'10" just to give myself a little bit more room. And my bust is 47. My under bust is 36. My waist is 37. And my hip is 48. And my full hip is 50. So this doesn't take into account my high bust. I have a very large bust, so this is not going to fit perfect, but I have princess seams, so that's going to give me a little bit of flexibility. And right now you see it says buy for $145. That's because it's on sale. Now the sale will not be going on when this video goes live, but if you follow sewist.com on Instagram, they'll be able to notify you when sales go, when patterns go on sale. Now, right here, this format, I do want to call out the standard one they issue is letter size. So that's print at home. I don't like taping together pieces. So if I can, I will select A0, and then that way I can get this printed off at PDF plotting. It'll take about a week, but the Little Red Dress project isn't starting for another week or so. So that gives us plenty of time to order patterns, order fabric, order trims. Couple other designs I created is this one, very similar to 9008. It is a full circle skirt, so it is not as full as the sewing pattern. You might have to do some modifications if you want to add fullness, but I think this is just a fabulous alternative if you can't buy 9008 or if you don't want to grade. And this one as well, this is that Queen Anne collar. It doesn't go quite as high as the pattern I shared in my previous video, but this is a great starting point. You would just have to butt these seams together. So you would remove this front seam. And then this is a fabulous full Queen Anne collar that goes up the neck. You will have to do some seam manipulation because of the way the princess seams are on here, but it's a great start, especially for $349. I haven't been able to find a really good solid high Queen Anne necked dress, so this would be a great starting point. And I will put links to all of these patterns that I created in the description. So if you don't want to go in and play around with the designs, you can just click on this link. You will need to enter your own measurements. And remember, if you want to send it off to PDF plotting or your other print shop, you'll need to select A0.
So the fabric I'll be using for this project is vintage from the 70s. I bought this from an Instagram seller. I do not remember her name or else I would list her. And you can see that it's very colonial. But I love the cream. It's more of a brick red, which is a little bit better with my skin tone than, you know, your bright red. I think it's a really good match for the French pasture designs on the original dress. There's about 3 yards for this. That should be enough, but if need be, I may have to use some of the solid fabric in place of some of the print fabric if I run out. And then the matching fabric is a Kona Cotton. I think it's called Paprika. I've linked it in the description. I bought another 3 yards of this, so 6 yards should be more than enough to make this dress. I bought this from my local seller, Wildwood Creative, which I can't talk about enough. And then I know I'm gonna need a whole bunch of trim for this dress. I'm always afraid of running out of trim, so I went ahead and just bought an entire spool of this 1/2-inch Cluny lace from Decorative Trimming. That should be more than enough for the dress. And as I make it up, I will try to take measurements of everything I use. So later on, if someone is watching this video, you'll get a little bit more, a better estimate of how much supplies you'll need. As of right now, I'm just making this up as I go. The pattern from sewist.com does not come with fabric requirements, so you kind of have to hope that you have enough. So as I go, I will take measurements of fabric usage, put them all in the future videos where I go over the construction techniques, as well as the pattern alterations I'll need to do to mirror the inspiration dress. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you can make your own Gunny Sacks dress for the holidays, or just share your beautiful Gunny Sacks dress you already own on Instagram. I would love to see what folks are wearing for the holidays. It's fabulous seeing you all, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.